welcome to today's podcast. My name is Sophia, and joining me is James. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Hi everyone, it's great to have you listening. Today, we're talking about something really important: how to speak English confidently in public. Whether it's giving a presentation, speaking in a meeting, or just chatting with friends, confidence is the key.
That's right, James. Speaking in public can be scary, especially when you're using a second language. But don't worry, we're here to help. Let's start with some simple tips and phrases that will make a big difference.
The first tip is to relax. When you're nervous, it's easy to speak too fast or forget your words. Take a deep breath before you start speaking. A phrase you can use to calm yourself is, "I'm ready and I can do this." Saying this to yourself can help you feel more confident.
I like that, James. Another great tip is to practice. Practice makes everything easier. If you know you'll be speaking in public, prepare what you're going to say. For example, if you're introducing yourself, you can practice saying, "Hello, my name is your name, and I'm happy to be here today."
Yes, practicing sentences like that can help a lot. It's also useful to learn phrases you can use if you make a mistake. For example, if you forget a word, you can say, "Let me try that again," or "What I mean is." This shows that you're confident, even if something goes wrong.
Exactly. And remember, everyone makes mistakes. It's normal. The important thing is to keep going and not to panic. Let's try a little activity now. Imagine you're meeting new people at a party. What's a good way to start a conversation, James?
Good question. You could start by saying, "Hi, how are you?" Or, "It's nice to meet you." If you want to keep the conversation going, you could ask, "What do you do for work?" Or, "Do you live around here?"
Those are great examples. And don't forget to smile. A smile can make you feel more relaxed and help the person you're talking to feel comfortable too.
That's so true, Sophia. And speaking of comfort, it's okay to take your time. If you need a moment to think about what to say, it's fine to pause. You can say something like, "Let me think about that for a second." It's better to pause and think than to rush and feel more nervous.
Yes, taking your time is very important. Another thing to remember is to speak clearly. Don't worry about having a perfect accent. Focus on speaking slowly and pronouncing your words so the other person can understand you.
Great advice, Sophia. And here's one more tip. Listen carefully. When you listen to the other person, you can respond better. For example, if someone says, "I like traveling," you can say, "That's interesting. Where have you traveled to?"
That's a perfect example, James. It shows that you're interested and helps the conversation continue. And remember, speaking English is not about being perfect, it's about communicating. If the other person understands you, you're doing great.
Exactly. So, to recap this section, we talked about relaxing, practicing, smiling, speaking clearly, and listening carefully. These tips will help you speak English confidently in public.
All right, let's keep going with more tips on how to speak English confidently in public. One thing that really helps is body language. How you stand, how you move, and even how you make eye contact can show confidence or a lack of it.
That's such a good point, Sophia. For example, standing up straight can make you look and feel more confident. Imagine your head is being pulled up by a string. This helps you keep good posture. And what about eye contact, Sophia?
Eye contact is so important. If you're speaking to one person, try to look at their eyes, but don't stare. If you're talking to a group, move your eyes around and look at different people. This shows that you're engaged and makes your audience feel included.
Yes, and here's something people don't always think about: gestures. Using your hands when you speak can help emphasize your points and make you seem more natural. For example, if you're saying something like, "There are 3 main ideas," you can hold up 3 fingers. Little actions like that make a big difference.
Definitely. Another tip is to use your voice effectively. A lot of people speak in a flat tone when they're nervous, but varying your tone can make you sound more interesting. For example, if you're excited about something, let your voice show that excitement. You can say, "I was so surprised," with a higher pitch to emphasize the feeling.
That's such good advice. And let's not forget about pausing. Pauses are very powerful. They give you a moment to think and make your speech easier to follow. For instance, if you're explaining something, pause for a second before moving to the next point. Like this. The first reason is pause, it helps you relax.
Exactly, and pauses can also make you sound more confident. It shows you're in control of what you're saying. Another idea is to prepare some phrases that you can use in different situations. For example, if someone asks you a question and you need time to think, you can say, "That's a great question. Let me think about it for a moment."
That's a great phrase, Sophia. And here's another one. If you're asked a question and you're not sure of the answer, you can say, "I'm not sure about that, but I'd love to find out more." It's a polite way to admit you don't know something without feeling embarrassed.
That's really helpful. James, let's talk about another challenge people face: forgetting words while speaking. This happens to everyone, even native speakers. If it happens, don't worry. You can use phrases like, "What's the word I'm looking for?" Or, "Let me explain it another way." This shows that you're trying, and people will understand.
That's so true. And you can also use simpler words to describe what you mean. For example, if you forget the word restaurant, you can say a place where people go to eat. It's not about being perfect, it's about being understood.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's helpful to repeat yourself in a different way. For example, if you're talking about a new idea, you can say, "This is important because," and then explain it again in simpler words. This helps make your point clear and gives you time to think.
Great advice, Sophia. And speaking of being understood, it's okay to ask for clarification if you don't understand something. For example, if someone speaks too fast, you can say, "Could you repeat that, please?" Or, "I didn't catch that. Can you say it again?"
Yes, asking questions shows that you're engaged and willing to learn. It's also a great way to keep a conversation going. For instance, if you're talking to someone about their job, you can ask, "What do you like about your work?" Or, "How did you get started in your career?"
That's a great strategy. And don't forget to use polite phrases like, "Thank you for explaining," or "That's very interesting." Politeness always leaves a good impression and helps build confidence.
Definitely. Let's also talk about practice again, but in a new way. Practicing with a friend or in front of a mirror can really help you improve. For example, if you're preparing for a presentation, you can practice saying, "Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about," practice until it feels natural.
That's such a good idea, Sophia, and recording yourself can also help. When you listen to yourself speak, you can hear what you're doing well and what you can improve. It might feel strange at first, but it's a great way to learn.
Absolutely, and don't forget to celebrate small successes. If you have a good conversation or do well in a meeting, give yourself a pat on the back. Confidence grows with every little success.
That's so true, Sophia. Building confidence is a journey, and every step matters. Speaking English in public might feel hard at first, but with practice, you'll get better and better.
Let's continue talking about how to speak English confidently in public. So far, we've covered body language, tone of voice, and preparing phrases. Now, let's focus on something just as important: building your vocabulary and using the right words for the right situations. .ef alt text.
That's a great idea, Sophia. Having a strong vocabulary gives you more tools to express yourself. But it's not just about knowing lots of words, it's also about knowing how to use them. For example, if you're at work, you might use phrases like, "Let's discuss the next steps," or "Can you clarify that point?" These are useful and professional.
Exactly, James. And for more casual situations, Like talking to friends, you can use phrases like, "That sounds fun," or "I totally agree with you." The more phrases you learn, the more confident you'll feel. A good way to build your vocabulary is by learning words in context. For example, if you're learning words about travel, practice sentences like, "I need to book a flight," or "Do you know a good hotel nearby?"
That's a great tip. And speaking of practice, using new words in real conversations helps you remember them. If you've learned the phrase, "Can you give me a hand?" try using it when you need help. It's a simple phrase, but using it in real life makes it stick in your memory.
Definitely, James. Another great way to build vocabulary is to read and listen to English as much as possible. For example, when you read a book or watch a TV show, pay attention to how words are used. If you hear a phrase like, "Let's grab a coffee," write it down and try to use it later.
That's such a good idea, Sophia. And don't forget to practice words and phrases related to public speaking. For example, if you're giving a presentation, phrases like, "Today, I'm here to talk about," or "Let me summarize the main points," are very useful. Learning these in advance can boost your confidence.
Absolutely, James. And here's another tip. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you don't know the right word, you can say, "What's the word for?" or "How do you say this in English?" Most people are happy to help, and asking questions shows that you're eager to learn.
That's so true, Sophia. Another thing to remember is to focus on the message, not just the words. Even if you don't know a fancy word, you can still communicate your idea. For example, if you don't know the word delicious, you can say, "The food tastes very good." People will understand you, and that's what matters.
Exactly, James. It's about communication, not perfection. And speaking of communication, let's talk about one of the biggest challenges people face: staying calm when they feel nervous. One technique that works well is to focus on your breathing. Take slow, deep breaths to calm your mind and body.
That's a great tip, Sophia. Another way to stay calm is to focus on the people you're speaking to. Instead of thinking, "What if I make a mistake?" think, "How can I help or connect with them?" This shift in focus can make a big difference.
That's so true. And remember, most people are not judging you, they're listening to what you're saying. Even if you make a mistake, they probably won't even notice. For example, if you say, "I go to the park" instead of "I went to the park," just correct yourself and keep going. People appreciate your effort.
Absolutely, Sophia. And speaking of effort, it's important to celebrate your progress. If you've spoken in public, even for a minute, that's a big achievement. Tell yourself, "I did it," and use that success to build your confidence for next time.
Yes, confidence grows little by little, and don't compare yourself to others. Everyone has their own pace. Focus on improving your own skills. For example, if you're comfortable introducing yourself, that's a win. The next step might be sharing your opinion in a group discussion. Each step is important.
That's great advice, Sophia. And another thing that helps is joining a group where you can practice speaking English. For example, some communities have language clubs where people meet to practice together. You can also join online groups or take part in public speaking workshops.
That's a fantastic idea, James. Practicing with others is a great way to build confidence and make friends. And if you're shy, start small. For example, try speaking to 1 or 2 people first, then gradually move to larger groups. Small steps lead to big results.
Exactly, Sophia. And remember, confidence is not about being perfect, it's about trying, learning, and growing. Every time you speak, you're getting better. So keep practicing, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
Let's dive into our final section about how to speak English confidently in public. We've covered so much so far: body language, vocabulary, practice, and staying calm. Now, let's focus on how to stay motivated and continue improving over time.
That's a great way to wrap things up, Sophia. Motivation is so important. Learning a language and speaking confidently in public is a journey, and it can feel tough sometimes. So, Sophia, what do you think is the best way to stay motivated?
One of the best ways to stay motivated is to set small, achievable goals. For example, you can set a goal to speak to one new person in English every week. Or you might decide to practice introducing yourself every day for 5 minutes. Small goals like these keep you moving forward without feeling overwhelmed.
That's great advice, Sophia. And don't forget to reward yourself when you reach a goal. For example, if you practice speaking for a week, treat yourself to something you enjoy like watching your favorite movie or having a special snack. Rewards keep learning fun. Default text.
Absolutely, James. Another way to stay motivated is to remind yourself why you're learning English. Maybe you want to travel, get a better job, or connect with people from different cultures. Write down your reasons and look at them whenever you feel discouraged.
That's such a good idea, Sophia. And speaking of connecting with people, finding a supportive community can make a big difference. For example, if you join an English club or online group, you can share your progress, get tips, and even make friends.
That's true, James. It's so much easier to stay motivated when you have others to cheer you on. And if you don't have a group to join, create one. You can invite a few friends or classmates to practice speaking English together.
Yes, practicing with others is so helpful. And here's another tip. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. Listen to English podcasts, watch English videos, and even change the language on your phone to English. The more you immerse yourself, the faster you'll improve.
That's a great suggestion, James. And don't forget to focus on progress, not perfection. For example, if you used to feel scared to say even one sentence in English, and now you can hold a short conversation, that's amazing progress. Celebrate every step you take.
So true, Sophia, and mistakes are part of that progress. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. Instead of thinking, I failed, think, I learned. For example, if you said, he don't like coffee instead of he doesn't like coffee, now you know the correct way to say it.
Exactly. Mistakes are teachers, not problems. And speaking of learning, one of the best ways to keep improving is to ask for feedback. If you're giving a presentation or practicing with friends, ask them, what can I do better? Most people will be happy to help.
That's such a good point, Sophia. And when you get feedback, don't take it personally. Think of it as a gift to help you improve. For example, if someone says you need to speak a little slower, that's not a criticism, it's a helpful tip to make you a better speaker.
That's a great mindset, James. And here's one last thing to remember. Enjoy the process. Speaking English is not just a skill, it's an opportunity to share your ideas, connect with others, and explore new possibilities. When you focus on enjoying the experience, confidence comes naturally.
That's so true, Sophia. Confidence grows when you allow yourself to enjoy speaking English, even if it's not perfect. For example, if you're telling a story and people laugh or smile, you've already succeeded in connecting with them.
Exactly. Communication is about connection, not perfection. So, to wrap things up, remember these key points: set small goals, surround yourself with English, find a supportive community, and focus on progress, not perfection.
And don't forget to celebrate every success, big or small. Speaking English in public might feel challenging at first, but with practice, patience, and a positive attitude, you'll get there.
That's right, James. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. We hope these tips and ideas help you feel more confident speaking English in public.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share it with your family and friends.
We'd love to hear about your experiences too. Leave a comment and let us know how you're improving your English.
Keep practicing, stay positive, and remember you've got this. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Take care and keep speaking English confidently.